Shut up and sit down.
Welcome into another Red Out podcast. I am Jake, one of your co-hosts. Devin, how we doing tonight?
Doing good. Coming at you from the new Red Out Studios. Ready to
That's
rock
right.
and roll.
Yeah, we had a fun weekend, didn't we? You had a much more fun weekend than me because you continued to move after I helped you, and me and my wife and the whole horde of people helped you guys on Saturday.
Yes. Thanks to you and your wife again, and to all the people that helped move my wife and I to our new home. We signed papers on Friday morning. My wife and I started moving clothes and essentials Friday, and then Saturday, like Jake said, the horde descended. And I think we ended up with about 10 people. Let's see, your truck, my truck. We had a van, a truck, another van.
And tell them what the vans are, because he didn't have like a Pacifica. Okay,
no.
Dodge Caravan.
No, one of the vans is a work vehicle. It's a Ford Econoline with the back two rows taken out, so it's like a 15-passenger van, and we loaded it full of junk. One of my buddies is a contractor, and we loaded his full of stuff. Got my truck, my Suburban, with a trailer behind it. I mean, it was an ordeal, but we only made like one trip.
Because...
Yes, and I almost forgot. The best one. My father brought a 32-foot U-Haul, which was great, don't get me wrong, but it was like, where are we going to park this big thing? But everything worked out well. I was super happy we got it in one trip. And of course, locally, it was supposed to rain, and we were all freaking out about that, and we're like, great, it's going to rain, and we got everything in the house, and it started sprinkling. So it was like,
and not only that, then it proceeded to rain at a steady rate for like 7 hours straight.
Yes, a very annoying rain, but it was nice. Again, thanks to everybody who helped, and I hope I don't have to do that for a very, very long time again. So.
Yeah, dude. You know me, between Western and then law school and married, I moved like 5 times in 8 years. And it was an absolute nightmare.
That completely sucked. Well, we moved, not to get into too much detail, but we moved into a house we thought we were going to buy, and we signed a seller's agreement that we could live there, and then the deal ended up falling through because it was a short sale, and don't let that fool you guys, short sales are not short.
And
yeah, they're a pain in the butt. And the individual owed too much money, yada, yada, yada. And so we didn't end up getting it, so we had to find something quick. And luckily we found something in not perfect, but it's a great house, and we really enjoy it.
Oh yeah, dude, my wife is like in love with y'all's house. Like if you guys move out sometime soon, she probably wants to buy it. Like I'm just throwing that out there. She loves that house.
I'm sure my wife would sell it to you at a very nice price. So she's
cost plus 2%.
She's not a big fan of the house, but I think she'll fall in love with it. It's just one of those things that's going to take a little time.
Yeah. So it was a good weekend, and that night we'll get into it. Tops played Marshall. That was a good game. Tonight we're going to get into it's right in the heart of basketball season. We can talk a little bit of baseball because practices have started. It's not great news for the Tops because it's probably not going to be very good, but we'll see. Going to talk about the women's games, their road stretch they just came off of, maybe some awards that one of the girls has won. Another award that one of the men has been nominated for. Talk a little NTSU. It was an amazing game. Talk about Marshall, which was an even more amazing game. Discuss quickly the road trip that the men's team is about to go on, and then wrap up with a question, a little bit of weighing the merits of Western's old rivals and new. So let's get started a little bit with Lady Tops, who are just coming off a road trip where they played 3 games on the road, and they absolutely beat the brakes off everyone that they played. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, you got to love the Lady Tops beating Louisiana Tech, North Texas, Marshall, and you said 3 games or 4?
Yeah, 3 games on the road.
On the road, yeah. Sorry about that. And you beat the Roadrunners, which is always funny for me. I'm like Roadrunner. It's a really cool mascot, and I'm really kind of jealous. But Big Red's, there's only room in my heart for one Big Red, one mascot. So, I mean, you can't. Of course, I think we probably talked about the UT San Antonio win. Marshall beat the socks off them 86-66. Beat North Texas 79-65. And beat Louisiana Tech 74-64.
Yeah, the Lady Tops have been absolutely running through conference. They only have 1 loss in conference so far, and it really is their favorite. They're still favorites to win the conference outright and to win the conference tournament come into the year, get that auto bid into the NCAA. Suffered a really heartbreaking loss to UAB a little while ago, but they have since rebounded and absolutely are continuing their domination of Conference USA women's hoops. It's freaking great. Speaking of the ladies, though, pretty cool. This is the time of year when a lot of these awards start popping up in basketball. You've got the big ones like the Wood and all of this, but Taisha Brown, who everybody knows is our senior star, she's a finalist for the Cheryl Miller Award, which is a really prestigious women's basketball award. I don't know the other finalists right now. Oh, sorry, here we go. She's one of 10 finalists for it's the Naismith Award. It's just the Cheryl Miller Award, presented annually to the top Division I small forward in the nation. And she's the first player from Western to have this to be named for this award, which is pretty sweet. And it's interesting because we've had some really good women's basketball players in the past, but Taisha Brown just stinking kills it, man. So, best of luck to her. I mean, top 10's pretty great, but we want to wish her the best. Hope she can take that trophy home.
Yeah, I mean, Little Miss Brown, I'm not even going to try her first name. I'm sorry, sweetheart, I'll butcher it. But Miss Brown is...
She's probably taller than you. She's a small forward, Little Miss Brown.
I'm not saying... Oh, well, yeah, I said Little Miss. She's probably a lot smaller mass-wise, but anyway.
That's true. That's very true.
But Miss Brown, probably because she could probably beat me up, would,
she could definitely take either of us, for sure.
And yeah, don't even get me started on the court. She'd make me look like an idiot. But, she's an outstanding player. It's great that she's, hate that she's in her senior year. Wish we could get a few more years out of her, but we just wish her the best. Hope she does all that she's cracked up to do. Looks like they got Florida Atlantic February 3rd. What's the line on that game? Any idea? Not that anybody's
typically college basketball. What day did you say that was?
February 3rd, which is actually.
It's this weekend, so...
Yes, Saturday.
Unlike football, and it really takes me off, unlike football, basketball lines don't typically come out until really, really close to the game.
Yeah.
Like, I was trying to find a Western Marshall line the other day, and it didn't pop out until, a day before. In fact, an hour ago, Chad Bishop was tweeting about the UTEP line for Western, and that only came out today, and the game is tomorrow night. So, don't know what it is yet. I would assume Western is double-digit favorites over FAU. I assume that we're double-digit favorites over everybody except for maybe UAB and MTSU. Because, the rest of Conference USA women, it's not that they're terrible. It's just that Western is head and shoulders above all the other teams in the conference. They just are. They suffered a tough loss to UAB, but other than that, man, it has been just absolute romper stomping through the conference.
Yeah, I think it's one of those games that you almost want a mulligan for, and you just want the girls to be able to rewind and do that game over. But I think if we face UAB again, I think we can take them.
Absolutely.
I don't see any reason looking through the schedule here that the Lady Tops couldn't, finish out the season. Let's see, we got 3, 6, 8. I'm going to say we could easily finish it out, 7-8?
7 and 8?
We could beat 7 out of the last 8 teams.
Oh, okay. I was like, there's not 15 games left in the season, and that's less than 50%. What's wrong with you?
No. Yeah.
With less than 10 games left in the season, absolutely. Yeah, there's no reason why. You figure maybe you drop one, somebody's got the flu or twist an ankle or something, but no, I see absolutely no reason why the Lady Tops can't just run the rest of the conference and get the top seed going into the Conference USA tournament. I see no reason why they can't.
And like you said, twist an ankle. Sometimes the ball doesn't roll the way you want it to. Like you said. I hope Lady Tops do well. Hoping they're gonna pull it out and do awesome. Just a real quick note. A guy that I worked with at A guy that I worked with at Western, Jack Doyle, became the first Hilltopper to play in the Pro Bowl.
Dude, I totally forgot about that. We have to talk about that. Captain Jack is the man.
Yes, gotta love it.
I forgot about that because nobody cares about the Pro Bowl, but...
Yeah, no. Now, here's my thing. I love Jack. Don't get me wrong. I love Jack. The Pro Bowl is boring as all get out, and nobody really watches it. It's like the Sunday off before the Super Bowl.
Seriously. Now, I will say that the ratings were a little bit up this year. I don't know why, but that's still not saying much because they're rather low. But
probably because Drew Brees' son's got in a fight on the sideline. I saw that all over Facebook, and I think that's hilarious. Drew Brees' kids got in trouble roughhousing on the sideline. And I mean, they were almost on the field roughhousing, and they're wrestling.
That's the Louisville's touchdown squirrel during the season. I was like, that's the best thing that happened in Louisville football this season was the touchdown squirrel.
Well, my point on the Pro Bowl is that I think they do it wrong. Now let me rephrase that. The NBA does their All-Star game, and it's awesome. Mm-hmm. They have slam dunk contest, 3-point shot contest. It's a spectacle. It's almost like an Olympic event. And then football, has the highest ratings probably of any sport. And then,
not a doubt.
And then they just drop the ball when it comes to the Pro Bowl, and it's like, why don't y'all do some fun stuff and make a week of it?
Well, because that's the thing is that they just started doing the skills competition, but they haven't really pushed it real hard. And they haven't really fleshed it out like the NBA, has.
Yeah.
And there's not as much I don't know. Is there without hitting like big hits and touchdowns? Without those two things, there's not as cool of a thing in football as a slam dunk. You know what I mean?
Okay. Let's say you take let's say Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers. I think Eli's still around, isn't he? Who cares? Andrew Luck and some of those guys, and you did a 50-yard and do a end zone touchdowns, and just have a net set up in the back of the end zone, and just make these guys just chuck it, and so whoever hits the most wins. That could be your 3-point contest. I'm going to say those dudes probably could do it on their knees.
Yeah, I think they just started it. It's been a couple years, but they do have a thing like that with these moving targets, and that is I think that's probably why there's more interest now, is because they started to do these skills competitions.
Yeah.
But they're really they have a catch thing where if you do one-handed catches for the receivers, and
running backs, it wouldn't be as interesting, I don't think.
It's not.
What do you do? I mean, one-on-ones with a linebacker? That's just going to set you up for more concussion problems.
Like an obstacle course, essentially, and they're having to run through it and dip this way and dodge this way. It's almost like when you play Madden and you do the skills practice tutorial stuff.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that.
I mean, but other than the quarterback, it really wouldn't be a lot of interesting stuff to do.
I agree. They need to figure it out, because if they don't, then they're just going to continue to slide into irrelevance for the Pro Bowl for sure.
I'm almost to the point that I would just be fine if they just named the person to the Pro Bowl, and then just didn't play.
It's an honorary thing.
Yeah, just be an honorary thing, and it's Jack Doyle, you are the tight end for the, what is that, AFC? Yeah, AFC.
Yeah, the
Pro
AFC
Bowl.
Team.
Yeah, and then be oh, cool.
Americans, first team, second team, third team,
Yeah, exactly, and it's oh, that's cool. And then just go on. Who cares? Because, besides the Super Bowl, who really watches the Pro Bowl? Nobody. So.
Yeah, not many people. That's very true.
I'll do a real quick. Looks like Jay Gibson, Chattanooga tight end, committed to WKU. He's a 3-star prospect. Offensive lineman Mason Brooks from Texas commits to WKU.
There's a running back too, wasn't there?
Well, yeah, I'm just scrolling through. I'm scrolling through WKO's thing, so I haven't seen that. Let me see here. Hold on. But yeah, I mean, looks like Western football's doing pretty good.
Yep, still top in the conference as far as recruiting. We were at the composite 69 rating, nice in the country. So, I mean, like I said, Sanford is an excellent recruiter. So we'll see if he can restock the cupboard and develop this talent into something special in the next couple of years.
Looks like Anthony Spurlock, a 6'1", 160-pound receiver, committed.
Cool.
Edna.
Decent,
oh wait.
Decent size.
Sorry, I'm skimming. Sorry, I didn't do a lot of prep, guys, so y'all just have to get used to it.
National Signing Day, while you keep looking, is coming up in February, so that's when we'll have the next round of official commits. Because, like you say, you're always quick to caution people because you've been around the game a lot. These kids get verbals, but if a big swinging P5 comes in, like that one kid we lost to Northwestern, that can happen.
Yeah.
Before they sign. So we're getting close.
Yeah, I mean once signing day gets here, I mean it's kind of in stone. But football is that that's the nasty part about football is these kids can commit, decommit until something's on paper. You don't bite. I hate to be that way,
that's one of those things. And that's the thing is you just want. If I was a football player and I committed to a smaller school and then some bigger school with better facilities or, I get to
Ohio State, Oregon, Florida State, yeah.
I mean, as much as I would love to have, some of the players, I kind of get it. Like, it's difficult for me, I'd feel very hypocritical to be like, oh, I would never do that if I committed to Western. Yeah, but, these guys don't have a real, love of the place, so I kind of get it. Now, the Northwestern
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what's best for him, that's cool. It's a good academic school, so that's good for him. But at the same time, it's like, man, I hate to lose one to friggin' Northwestern.
Northwestern is almost like Boise State, I feel like. I mean, it's not even... It's a step above, but it's not like an Alabama, Ohio State, Florida State,
No, it's like a Vanderbilt. It's like, okay, you're in a Power 5 conference, but you're not good.
Yeah, exactly. I can't... I mean, for me, living around the Western Kentucky area, I would want to stay closer to home, and that would be one prospect for me of considering Western. But, if I was really wanting to hit it big, I really wouldn't choose Northwestern. I mean,
no.
West Coast schools do a lot better, but, no.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just funny.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Like I said, the Western recruiting classes, I mean, Sanford can bring him in. So hopefully, like I said, he can tune them up and make them, actually good. We'll see.
Oh, yeah. Just keep your eyes open and just keep waiting, guys. We'll see how everything rolls out. You want to skip to men's?
Yeah, one quick thing. Now that you talked about football, it reminded me, because my brain is so in basketball season that I keep forgetting that there is a little football news. So the Senior Bowl happened recently. Western had 2 players in the Senior Bowl, which is pretty cool. My boy Dion Yeller, had one reception for a touch, but it was for a touchdown, so that's pretty cool. But of course, he only had 1 snap, really. So.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
1,000's pretty good.
Gotta love Dion Yeller. Love the kid.
Oh, dude, he's gonna make noise in the league. I don't care what anybody says. Even if he doesn't get drafted, a team will pick. You got to draft, you get Mr. Irrelevant, and then a flurry of undrafted free agent signings happens. And there's so many. I mean, Jack Doyle was one of those guys.
Exactly.
Didn't get drafted, free agent, poked around a little bit, Titans to the Colts, and then boom, now he's their stud. One of their best, honestly, one of their best receivers out of the tight end spot. So,
well, I mean,
I fully expect Dion Yeller to be suiting up on Sunday in a year or two, without a doubt.
Well, I mean, you named Jack Doyle. Another one, Bobby Rainey. He didn't have as much. He didn't make as much noise in the league as Jack did, obviously. But then you
He's
got
funny, though.
you got Quinterris Smith. He was a defensive end for the the Broncos for a long time. He actually was on the Super Bowl team that when they won the Super Bowl a few years back.
That's awesome.
Then you've got Antonio Andrews. I don't think he was drafted. I think he was a free agent sign. But yeah, I mean, there's other paths to the league, guys, and honestly, being a free agent from a lot of guys that I've heard, as far as ESPN analysts go, they say being a free agent is a lot better than getting signed. Now, here's the reasoning behind that. If you're a free agent signer, you get to choose, let's say your contract runs out with the Bucs, the Broncos, whoever, you got free agent guys coming for you, then you get to pick who you go to. Which is nice.
Gives you more of an option, because when you sign up for the draft, when you submit your name, if you get drafted, you just have to sign a contract with that team. But as a free agent, in the market, you can kind of try out for lots of different teams. It's just like job interviews, right?
Exactly.
And maybe the Titans and the Colts want to sign you. You say, okay, well, I don't want to go be, I don't want to be the tight end behind Jack Doyle, so maybe I go to the Titans because Delaney Walker is older and has a bad hip or whatever. So go there.
Exactly. You got to go where you're comfortable, and the bad part about the league is it's a business. If you ever watch Hard Knocks, which is a great show on HBO, you have to realize at the end of the day it's a business, and what may seem as a bad or missed opportunity at one place could be a gift at another.
Just talk about the guys that leave the Browns.
Oh yeah. Oh God, that's not a missed opportunity when you leave the Browns. That is a blessing in disguise.
It is opening a door.
But the last Hard Knocks I watched was with the Los Angeles Rams, and they cut one of the centers, and he actually went to I think he went to Chicago, and he went to another team. It was real quick turnaround, but he was a really good player, and he actually made it to another team and actually got pulled on their roster. So you got to love it.
Yeah, and then the bigger news a little bit, or at least the bigger news on that was that Mike White absolutely, he kind of started the game, and he absolutely lit everyone up. He threw for 140 yards, was 8 for 11 with a touchdown. It's funny too, because his team, I can't remember if they were the North or the South, but
South.
They were South, okay. His team had kind of the lesser-known quarterbacks, and the North had Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield absolutely sucked it up, and everyone was laughing because Josh Allen, even though he finished with some decent stats, they're like, yeah, he looks great until he throws the ball, and it's because he's such a good throwing motion, and he's just not that accurate, and it's like, oh, okay, so he's a tight end. He's Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Now, and that's I'm not a Tebow fan, first off. And I never thought he was a great. I think he had enough athletes around him at Florida that they made him look better than he actually is.
Absolutely.
As a person, he's a good person. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, dude is a guy.
Yeah, my wife has this huge crush on him, but whatever.
He's a pretty man.
Yeah.
He's pretty. Ever since he slammed down since he left the league, he's a pretty man.
Well, he's a baseball guy now, so I'm not calling him a pretty man.
He's not terrible at baseball.
I'm not going to call him a pretty man. I am not a fan. I was on the sideline at Western when, I think that was 2007, when he would run through our sideline and just completely disrespected us, and I was like, huh, okay. And a big guy, center, offensive lineman named Cody Hughes, plowed his ass, and I'm going to say it. Just gave him a forearm to the chin, and he went down like a rock. Of course, it's 15-yard penalty, but it was still beautiful.
Worth it.
Yes, it was. And he never came back and ran through our sideline again.
That's right, because he learned it.
He learned it the hard way. But yes, so gotta love it.
It's just good. We got two guys in the Senior Bowl. It was really awesome. They outshined our boy Mike White. Outshined most of these first-round draft pick studs. Because he's incredibly accurate and has really good vision. He also impressed If you guys haven't seen it, we've retweeted it a couple times. Just Google it. Mike White's interview at the Senior Bowl, because one of the guys, and I can't remember which one it was, but one of the dudes on the NFL Network said, okay, well, now, we've actually started talking about coverages. So what would you say if it was, how do you read down the coverages? And then Mike White proceeded to give them like a head coach's description of exactly where he's going to move his guys, the type of read and progressions that he's going to do based on the different defenses that he was reading. And the guys were like, "Oh my God!" And then one of the dudes is, "That's my quarterback. That's my quarterback." Like it's about 2 minutes, but it is worth every second of your time. It's so good.
That's awesome. I love that fact for Mike White. My biggest problem with Mike White, he's probably great at identifying that stuff, and he'll probably be a great coach at some point down the line, but he had the looky-loo problem like the entire season, and I absolutely hated it.
We talked about that ad nauseum, like, dude, quit staring down your boys. And that's what we said. Well, listen, he's got everything else down. If he just learns to not stare down his guys, he'll be all right. So hopefully he will, man, because it'd be good to have another guy in the league.
Love it. I would love it.
Miami and Aurora's over in San Francisco. Got Lamp out in LA, so.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see another topper in the league. Anytime a topper makes it to the league, it's an awesome day for me.
Absolutely.
But we'll just see. I'm not going to get too excited about this. Hopefully it adds to.
I love watching the draft.
Oh,
I'm a sucker. I love it.
Yeah, see, I'm not a big draft watcher, though. I mean,
I am.
I'm like, I got a life. I can't just sit there. It sounds bad, but
my wife was making fun of me because I was staying at like 2 a.m. watching the first 2 rounds, seeing where watching the first round, seeing where Lamp got drafted last year. Just like, okay, he's not drafted in the first round. I'm gonna go to bed.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't bet on a first round. It's probably, what was it, 5th round? Did he make it? Yeah.
No, Lamp was very beginning of the second.
Oh, okay.
He was. Everybody thought he was going to go the first round because he was tabbed as the best, one of the best offensive linemen in the country, especially guard. In fact, one of the big Alabama defensive tackle was like, they asked okay, well, who in the draft is the best offensive lineman you had to go against all year? And he's like, Mike White, or not Mike White. He's like, Forrest Lamp, Western Kentucky.
The best one he went against was Mike White.
Yeah, Mike White.
Oh, sorry. I just had way too much fun with it. But yeah, I'm sure he is. Usually, Russell Wilson was a low draft pick too, though. And of course, you see how great he is.
Yeah, I don't remember where he got drafted. To be honest,
I think he was a 3rd round. I think he was a 3rd or 4th round. I mean, he was a low pick, and
Saquon's doing great in the league, and he was a 4th round draft pick.
Yeah, I mean,
Lamp was doing great before he blew his knee. He hurt his knee, in the season, so he's had a little bit of rehab. But yeah, I mean, you get low. I mean,
I'm telling you, I'll tell you right now, I'm going to. Do I now?
Wasn't Tom Brady like a 5th round pick?
I can't tell you on that one. I think he was. He was in the 1st. I'm not sure. I can Google it, but
I don't know either.
No, they. I mean, first off, whoever you are, you don't want to be the first pick.
No. Sorry, 6th round.
Was he 6th round?
6th round. Yeah, he was the 199th pick overall.
Yeah, I mean, he was right behind. What was that? Who was the quarterback? Bledsoe? Does that sound right?
I don't know. I just found a article that was like the 6 quarterbacks drafted in front of him. So.
Yeah, that's funny. But anyway, yeah. So going back to talking a little football, it doesn't really matter where you're drafted. Obviously, this year you don't want to go first. You do not want to go to the abyss, the brown abyss that is the Cleveland Browns. Having 28 quarterbacks in less than 20 years is ridiculous, and I think they've probably had just as many head coaches there. I mean, I would love to see Cleveland turn it around, but it's going to take a miracle.
Yeah, they've been a disaster for a long time.
You need to what needs to happen is you need to have an owner there that says, I'm going this coach and I want this GM. And then you tell them, make something. Those guys go out, they pick a franchise quarterback, and they stick with him no matter what happens. And then they build an offensive line, and then they get a running back, and then they get a receiver, and then you build the defense. I mean, You just got to build a team. I mean, look at the Green Bay Packers. They have a system in place. They basically take nobodies and they put into these places, and then it works.
I mean, you just also described the Patriots, right?
Yeah, the Patriots is another great. They've got Belichick, who's a genius, by the way. Anybody who says he's not is crazy. And secondly, he may cheat, which I'm putting that in little air quotes here. But he cheats in such a way that it is borderline cheating. I mean, Spygate. It doesn't say in the rules you can't watch the other team call plays. But who would have thought of doing that? Because it's an immoral thing. And you're like, good God, Belichick, what are you doing? Deflategate, which, by the way, to anybody that says that Deflategate is helped Tom Brady, did not watch that football game. Because
I know, because when they reinflated him, he torched in the second half.
I think it was like 28-6. I sat and watched that game. At one point, I'm sitting there watching, and I'm like, he just threw a duck. And I'm like, why is a Pro Bowl, how many ever Super Bowl quarterback throwing ducks? And then, later on it came out about Deflategate, and I was like, that didn't even help him, though. Second half, I think he threw like 8 touchdown passes. I was like...
Yeah. That was one of the things I said. I was like, listen, even if they did deflate the footballs, it apparently worked the opposite because he started destroying them.
Granted, I could say if it was me, I'd be like, okay, theoretically I could grip the ball better. But watching him throw it, it was awful. And I was like, this isn't helping him at all. If anything, it's helping the running backs hold on to the ball. But that's in the past, so.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can move on to from the football news onto the men's team. That's one of the bigger stories coming into this podcast. We kind of previewed on our last one, as we've been crazy busy, you moving, me being lazy. We kind of previewed the MTSU game, how it was such a big game, and it was a sellout, and everything was awesome.
Yeah, 100 miles of hate, and go out and support the Tops, and...
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing I can...
What ended up happening was we lost.
Yep.
By 4 points. That was very sad. However, I will say, a sold-out diddle, like a standing room only diddle arena, it's almost indescribable. It is one of the best sports memories I think I'll probably ever have. Is listening to 7,800 people all standing and yelling, stand up and cheer in unison. It was just, even though they lost, it was an amazing atmosphere, an amazing game. Kind of a grind kind of a game, not the best officiated either, but we all know the CSA refs kind of suck. Even in wins, they still stink. They were bad in the Marshall game. I will tell you this straight up, though. Everybody always talks about Giddy Potts, the guard from NTSU, and how good he is, and he is great. He's got one of the best three-point shots I think I've ever seen live. But Nick friggin' King, their big guy, it's terrifying when a 6'9", 6'10" dude can just drain defended threes. And I knew there was a moment when I don't even remember who was guarding him, but they were literally in his face. They fouled him, essentially, and it just didn't get called. And the three just still straight in. It was like, yep, this is just their night. This is their night. They're going to win this, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, that's frustrating, though. When you know there's nothing you can do about it, you just got to sit back and watch.
And then we get stop after stop, and then the Western would go down and get an easy layup, and then get fouled. It's like, all right, let it go in, and it would, like you said earlier about the ball not bouncing right, it would bounce around the rim 4 times and then fall off. And it's a chance for 3 points. Then we get 2, go down, get a stop. Okay, we're only down, only down 4 now. Go down, easy layup, foul. Okay, 3, no, and then drain 2. Okay, we're down 2, and it was. I won't say too much about the game because it's kind of in the rearview mirror. It's a loss. You get over it. It's a home loss, so that stinks. Luckily enough, they're still pretty high on their RPI, so it shouldn't hurt us too bad. But dang, that was one we could have won in front of a sold-out crowd.
We will get revenge. It's not going to be as sweet.
Oh, buddy.
We do have our chance of redemption/revenge. It's coming up March 1st, 8 o'clock at their place, which makes it even worse. You got to go down there and steal that back.
Yeah, and it's not Murfreesboro. It's not a great town, so whatever. But it's not a far drive from Bowling Green, so anybody in town should definitely try to make it out. The tickets aren't going to be expensive. You can probably get them on StubHub for $10.
It's just outside of Nashville too.
Yeah, it's a little west, right?
A little south. I think Murfreesboro is a little south of Nashville.
I've only been there once.
Yeah, if you did go through there, you would never know it. Worst case, okay, well, it's a Thursday night game, so that's not really going to help you, but, you could go to Nashville, have something to eat, go walk around the mall or whatever, and then make your way down there. Make it a trip of it. Enjoy yourself, and cheer on the Tops at the same time, so win-win.
Absolutely. And that will be one of the last chances for the Tops to get one of those Quadrant 1 wins. For those of you that don't know, this year they've released this scoring thing where they measure different wins based on with the team's RPI ranking, whether it's home or away, and some other factor. So you're talking away, and a top 30, top 40 RPI is going to be considered a quality rank Quadrant 1 win, and it's one of the last chances the Tops are probably going to get. Maybe Marshall or UAB, maybe Old Dominion on the road, or it won't be Marshall because we beat them twice, but maybe Old Dominion on the road. We don't know where they'll be. But yeah, dude, that one is one I guarantee you the Tops have circled on the calendar in the locker room, because that's one you want. Because, I'm going to chalk it up to Darius Thompson played with the flu.
Oh,
he was
wow.
puking his brains out 2 seconds before they went out onto the court for the warm-ups. And you could tell he wasn't himself. He missed 2 technical free throws. It was really bad. And that's something I've said all season, and I think you'll continue to see this as a narrative, that as goes Darius Thompson, as go the Tops. He's the point guard who keeps everything running. I will say,
essentially your point guard is your quarterback. So, like you said, as goes the point guard, as goes the team.
Yeah, it's your floor general. It's your coach on the floor, and if Darius Thompson is hitting those floaters and driving into the lane and dishing and making good decisions, the Tops are winning. If he's ill, we have a significant disadvantage. I'll say, so that was MTSU. Sad to see the loss, but if we're going to lose to a team in conference, MTSU is the one you want to lose to. Fast forward to Marshall, had a week off, and it was crazy because that week, you're following the news, you saw that Lamonte Bearden, our number 2 point guard, and Jake Omer, a little shooting guard. I say little, he's 6'1", but our small-ish shooting guard both had strep or something.
Mono.
And so, yeah, they were
they're making out.
We're Lysoling, we're fumigating the entire locker room, we're fumigating the facility, because we can't have these guys sick. And Bearden actually said, had that game been the night before, the Marshall game had been Friday, he wouldn't have been able to go. But as it turns out, he played pretty well. Another sold-out crowd. Those are the first back-to-back conference sellouts for the Tops since 2002 and 2003 season. And it's the first back-to-back sellouts in general since, the 08 season, which is one of the better seasons that Western's had in recent memory. So the attendance numbers for this year are markedly higher. You're talking, we're now averaging more than 5,000 a game, which is more than we've averaged since... That's been about 5 years or so.
Yeah.
13, 14 was the last time we've averaged that many, which is freaking awesome. And they're continuing to sell it out. I don't expect any more home sellouts. I really don't.
Love to see it, though.
A little bit, stuff will die down. But, awesome.
Well, we do have Old Dominion at home on the 24th. That
would be the one I would say would sell out.
Yeah, we got FAU and FIU at home, and Charlotte and Old Dominion. Out of the 4, I'm going to say Old Dominion's... if I had to put money on it, I'd say ODU.
Yeah, that would probably be the one that would sell out. And it's the last one. It's the last home game, so they're really going to be pushing that.
Yes. Of course, let's see. Men have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 games Where are your odds? What do you think? How is Western going to finish up these last 10 games at home?
You mean the last 10 games total?
That's what I meant. Yes, sorry.
Yeah. So that's a difficult question because I always figure in a 10-game stretch, like I don't think we're going to win 10 in a row. I don't.
No.
Something will happen. So I do not think the Tops will lose at home again. I just don't. I think that so there's 4. I think you beat FAU, FIU, Charlotte, and get a close win over ODU. Unless now, granted, this is assuming everybody's healthy, blah blah blah. I honestly think you don't lose again at home, and we play UAB on the road. Do we play UAB on the road?
Yes. Yes.
I would say that is my gonna drop the ball game because they are a very athletic team. Now we can out-athlete people for the most part. Dwight Colby's a freaking monster. But that's one of those games where I see him getting worked on the inside and getting in foul trouble, and then we have to go to only Justin Johnson and Marik Nelson, and that's just not enough strength down low, which has been our strong suit. So I would say, let's go. So 9-1 is my optimistic, because I think we're going to go get revenge in Murfreesboro. I really do. Assuming, because if Darius Thompson doesn't have the flu, we smoked them by 10. So, I'm going to say 9-1 with dropping a clunker at UAB.
See, I'm going to go 8-2. Now, who we lose to, that's a toughie for me. But I feel like we're going to lose a close one, and I feel like we're going to lose a close one, and we're going to lose a nail-biter. And honestly, going into March Madness, I would love to see, it sounds bad, but lose to UAB right before the tournament for motivation. I hate to say it like that, but going into Conference USA tournament with 2 losses conference-wise, it would be 2, right?
I mean, yes. 2 in a row. We've already dropped.
We dropped MTSU.
So we'd be 3 losses in conference if we lose 2 because we've only lost to MTSU.
Yeah. So yeah. I'm going. I say 8-2, but we'll see.
So I'll say if your scenario plays out and we drop one to UAB and some other miscellaneous team, if it's not Old Dominion or MTSU, that absolutely means the Tops have to win the Conference USA tournament in order to get in to the NCAA. I do not think that they'll have a shot at an at-large bid. I think the only way an at-large bid comes is if we only drop MTSU again. If we lose to anybody else, or unless UAB's done really well, I think another conference loss to a team ranked outside the top 60, top 70 RPI will probably put us out of at-large consideration. And then we're going to have to go and get the auto bid from the tournament, which is totally possible.
Yeah.
But I'd love an auto bid because it just speaks volumes about the quality of the team versus just getting lucky, as some people would say, and winning the conference tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you. I mean, it builds you up too. The only reason I think I would like to see us lose at least one before conference is just we need you got to be pissed. I'm sorry. You got to get these guys motivated and mad and going into conference play with a chip on their shoulder. You play a little harder with that, and we'll just see. You got 10 games left. And it's a long time before March. We'll just have to see how everything rolls out.
Yeah, for sure. And I will also just kind of wrap up on the Marshall game. Intense last 5 minutes, scored 15 unanswered points. Just crazy. Stadium's got it on. If you didn't get to see it, at least watch the last 5 minutes and go back and find. And we've retweeted it. You can find it in our timeline. It's not very far back. If you have not seen the steal by Lamonte Bearden, who then thinks about shooting it from the floor while he's literally sitting on his butt, and then decides to pass it back to Josh Anderson, who, if I had music so I could play I Believe I Can Fly, the dude is an absolute monster. His dunk. It was really early in the game. In fact, I'm looking at it now. It was like right around the 9:42 mark of the first half. Holy crap!
Yes,
it was to put us up 4.
Really cool dunk.
And it's funny too. Oh, dude, if you can see the best part is. No, there's two great things. There's a picture that will live on in Western infamy forever, directly behind Josh Anderson, where you can see all of the student section's face, and they're like, "Oh, snap!" And you can just see him like about. It's perfect. It's symmetrical. It's incredible. But the other really awesome thing is if you see the under the basket shot, you can just see John Elmore like trying to get out of the way because he does not want to get posterized and or take a Josh Anderson balls to the face, because that was what was going to happen if he tried to. Because there was no defending that. I do not care. Gronk couldn't have defended that.
Yeah, I mean, that's for me. I think that's hilarious because it's one of those things that guys are like, "Oh my god, that looks like a good dunk. Get out of the way."
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to be on that poster.
No.
You just do not, and he still is. He's like, "Oh no, don't eat me, Josh Anderson," because Josh Anderson will absolutely take your cookies, your money, and eat them in front of you, like. Quarters and all. He's
not feel bad at all, yes.
Yeah. And that was just, I couldn't even imagine being in the stadium. It was just awesome. And remember, kids, he's a freshman.
Yes. Gotta love that.
Who missed 15 games this year because the NCAA sucks.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Also, speaking of Josh Anderson, Chad Bishop's got a really good article about the hardships from when his home flooded and was, destroyed during his senior year, and how him and his mom and brother had to move everybody to Kentucky and are living in Bowling Green and doing better, overcoming all that. Great. Again, check our Twitter, or we retweeted it. A really good story on WKU.com with Chad Bishop's column is really, really good.
Wow. Did not realize that guy was having that much problems with.
Well, that's why he that's the story of his NCAA eligibility issue, was that he had to go to drive an hour and go to a different to come back to his high school because things were flooded and he could not live in his hometown anymore, and the school was disrupted, and they're like, "Oh, we don't know whose grades, we should send his grades somewhere." The NCAA sat on their hands for 6 months.
Oh my gosh!
Don't even start in NCAA. Yeah, but they screwed him. But you know what? The kid has overcome it. He's averaging 9 points a game since starting.
9 awesome points, apparently, so...
Yeah, right, 9, dunk points a game. It's great. It's absolutely awesome.
Love it. So, do you have anything else?
No, just Tops play tomorrow night at UTEP. They open as 11-point favorites on UTEP. Let's hope they can cover the spread. It's funny because that Marshall game actually got mentioned as a bad beat on Van Pelt, because at the last second shot actually made them cover, which is pretty good.
Well, let's go back to the real quick debate you had on what makes a good rival. No, I hadn't forgotten. I made a little mental note to myself. As far as a rival goes, okay, let me speak not as a Hilltopper fan, but let's say UK, for instance. Mm-hmm. Rivals. Okay, you've got Louisville, you got Tennessee, you got Indiana, you got Duke, but Duke's not as big a rival. Yeah, it's not as hated. Louisville and UK games are probably the most, it's
the most, I don't care what anybody says, it's the most tense rivalry in college athletics.
I agree. And I would almost say that Western MTSU is right there.
We definitely have the best name.
Yes, I agree 100%. My only issue is, now, of course, the Marshall-Western rivalry, to me, is not as good. Maybe it is to them. We went in there with football and just embarrassed them when they were number 24. Now, that to me is ooh, yeah, I can understand why y'all are pissy, but...
yeah, seriously. Because they were 20, we started a fight and they went downhill after that.
Yeah, so, it's one of those that you're just okay, that's understandable, but, for me, MTSU and Western is just so much more of a rivalry. I just can't swallow the Marshall. It's just not the same. Does that make sense? Now, Indiana, I hate Indiana. I loathe those dudes, but it's just not. And I mean, Tennessee too. Ugh. Tennessee Orange. Ugh. Rocky Top. Ugh.
I will say, yeah, dude, is Rocky Top not the most annoying?
Dude, you should listen to it in person. It's even worse.
I guarantee it's terrible.
Oh my gosh, we practiced when Western went down to play Tennessee. They literally turned the speakers on and blasted Rocky Top during the team stuff. And it's awful. Now when Western actually went down there and played them, it's 100 times worse. But it's just, it's hard to describe. I mean, you've got 75 to 100,000 fans screaming Rocky Tops, good old Rocky Top. Woo! Rocky Top, Tennessee. And it's for God's sakes, if I hear that song one more time, I will shoot someone. It's anything happens, they turn on Rocky Top, and you're just
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan. I will submit that for me, in order for a rivalry to be true and dyed in the wool and to be really representative of a true rivalry and the greatest rivalries, there has to be zero respect for that rival. You have to deplore their very existence. I think I think, and maybe it's just because I'm a little aggressive, but the UK Louisville, one of the reasons I think it's probably the best rivalry in college sports is because it is the most venomous. There is no love lost between those two. They deplore each other. I mean, absolutely hate each other. And the 100 Miles of Hate, because we have the best name, is exactly that.
It is.
I don't want... It pains me. It physically hurts my soul to want MTSU to win all the games except the ones they play Western, because I want their RPI to be strong for when we do go in and kick their butt in Murfreesboro. It makes me ill to want that. I do not want them to win at anything. I don't want them to win at Tiddlywinks. I don't want their cheerleading squad to do well. I don't want their students to graduate with high GPAs. I deplore that school and the town and everything about it. I can't stand their Twitter followers. It just, everything about them makes me ill. Whereas Marshall, aside from those drunk dudes that game that one time,
yeah,
I'm fine with Marshall.
I'm indifferent with Marshall. I'm like you.
I will say one thing. 100 Miles of Hate, the guy that runs that Twitter, golf clap, nice guy.
Yeah,
but other than that, I deplore them. But Marshall, I'm meh, they're nice guys, whatever, it's fine.
Completely agree. Like I said, maybe it's their side that's just... But our side, I just really don't care. I mean, as far as rivalry goes, let's see. You got Auburn, Alabama. I mean, that's a rough rivalry right there.
Yeah, again, it's one of those in-state things.
Yeah, I mean, it's an in-state thing. It's not even... I mean, in-state rivalries, I think, are the best rivalries. I mean, okay, what would you say is another good rivalry as far as that goes?
No, I mean, you always talk Duke in North Carolina is pretty good.
That's another good one, yeah. Well, I mean, even on that note, you've got Duke, North Carolina, and isn't NC State right in that triangle right there?
It is, yeah. That's the Tobacco Road, the whatever they call it. Yeah, I think it is. They call it Tobacco Road, Raleigh, Durham, and all those. I will say that I don't think that Duke and North Carolina really consider NC State a rival, just because they haven't been as good since Jimmy V took them to the national title back in '83.
Yeah, but I mean,
back in the '80s. But yeah, for sure, in-state schools, I'm sure NC State considers themselves rivals to North Carolina and Duke for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as football goes, NC State's probably a rival, but maybe.
Oh, yeah, football, they're the best team in North Carolina.
Yeah, but not with but not with basketball. I wouldn't even put them on the same map as those two.
Now, I will say this year they are, because I think this year NC State beat Duke.
Did they really?
That happened earlier this year. Yeah,
that's awesome.
They're down. Duke's pretty good. They're the best offensive team in the country. right now, like stats wise.
Yeah, but defensively they can't stand up to anybody.
Yeah, but I mean they were number 4 before Virginia beat them, so I mean they're pretty good.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that defensively, they're using their speed to outrun people as far as offense goes. It's kind of like FAU did in football this year.
Yeah.
But, gotta love it. Rivalries are always nice, but again, I don't think of Marshall as a rival. I'm sorry.
I don't either. That was a debate kind of going around Twitter. Moonshine Throwdown's Twitter was kind of like tossing that around, and I kind of submitted. I was like, look, I don't hate Marshall. You guys are fine. So I don't really consider it a rivalry unless there's like actual venom.
Yeah, and prime example for the in-state, for us in-state people, is UK Louisville. I mean, whatever side you fall on, the other side is you're just like, ugh.
It's like, I deplore those people.
Yes, exactly.
Those lion beards, those mouth breathers. Like.
Mouth breathers. The only one that applies to is Eli Manning, and I don't think he cheers for either team.
I was trying to hit both sides. That's what they call the Louisville guys with lion beards, and they call the UK dudes the mouth breathers.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. That's hilarious. That's funny.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, I don't have anything else. Go cheer on the Tops from wherever you can this weekend on Thursday as they play out their road trip in Texas at El Paso and San Antonio, and we'll see them back pretty soon against FAU. So I got nothing else. You got anything else?
I'm good. Just always remember, go Tops.
Go Tops.